G'day Legends, Atron here. So we're going to be doing some Lava 4. So we'll just go through this setup really quickly. We've got 1 at the top there, 2, 3, 4. So I will include some pictures at the end, but basically, you know, we've got max DPS, GS, TT, PK. In this setup, we've got 1 tree, and then we've also got a PD with GS and TT. No PK in that setup. My setup is GS and TT. We've also got Arc and Val. We need one of those in each setup, and this one is just another DPS with the PD. So we're going to start and go through. Now, my team, my Arc, my GS, my Val, and my TT. Actually, I haven't done it yet. My TT has 5 sat, but I am contemplating changing her to a summons pet. The more summons pet you have, the better. For people who have a GS and a TT, that's great. For people that don't have a TT and they only got a PK, or they've got a GS, you know, you need 2 of those DPS. You need a GS or you need a TT. So if you don't have either of them, or you don't have both of them, I should say, you need to sub in another DPS. And the best DPS is to sub in is actually not PK. If you already have GS and TT in the setup like Spot 1 will, then PK is a good addition. But people that offer more DPS at a single value target are HBK or Heartbreaker. You've got Medusa even. She does more DPS to a single target. BT is probably the one I wanted to highlight. 1, he is tanky. 2, he offers more damage to all the surrounding enemies in his proc. He brings an extra bear, and if you have a slowdown on him, which I do, I've got 8 slowdown on mine. My position doesn't help it, but if you've got slowdown, great. But you can put a summons pet on him, like you should be doing for Archdemon, and all of a sudden, yes, he's more than PK, but all of a sudden his damage and DPS is gone way up because you've added slowdown, you've added a summons pet, and he's already got his bear there. So, you know, you add Deadly Strike, or you add heavy blow crests, and then happy days. So, you know, all those little ticks. My GS, my TT are both running slowdown crests. My Arc and my Ghoulam are running 5 Vite crests. So having 1 5 Vite in the setup is super important. Now, I'm not sure we're going to do this. I will speed it up. I just wanted to talk through this first run, and then we'll be able to go through the rest of them fairly quickly. So, you know, trying to work out, is this a farmable strat? Now, we had some people go down below, and that didn't look good. So makes me think, you know, that demon's able to attack and move. 40 seconds for 1 demon is what I've worked out is actually pretty affordable as far as taking them out. So let's just slow that down. I don't want it buffing out. 20 seconds. If you're having anything more than 15 seconds left, from what I'm seeing, you're doing a pretty good job. So, and that's the thing, all of this setup is crazy on the DPS, like ridiculous. So, like, I'll invite everyone again to this setup, but you know, and I've done this also with maxed heroes. You know, this is my main team, my main crew. So like, we had to adapt a little bit, but you know, I'm gonna recommend that Sphinx here gets rid of his PK and he puts in someone either like Heartbreaker or BT or even Medusa, or someone who has a summons pet and someone who can put slowdown crests on that's not going to die, because that's what's going to be the most beneficial to the team. So, interesting thing, like I'm running 2 accounts here. I'm running my buddy's account, Bump, and he was still in game because I didn't fast forward through his setup. So the invite didn't appear on his screen because he hadn't finished the lava run. So, I mean, a little bit of a side thing, but if you're ever wondering why, if you're the person inviting and it's not working out. So let's just go through this setup one more time, and then, you know, I'll speed through the rest of them most likely. So TT and GS, they're your 2 highest hitting DPS targets. You add what is it? Slowdown onto them, and you add a summons pet, even more. Like, you know, you've got GS 5 copters and her auto attack, that's or 4 copters and an auto attack, that's that's 5. Put slowdown, that's 6 ticks of damage. You put a summons pet on there, that's 7 ticks of damage. So, you got to add all that up, and that's what makes Lava 4. It's not about that global range of damage. I do wonder if adding an Ice Demon into here is going to affect. See how we had that last people go down and my Golem died? And that's fine because he's tanky, but if you get someone else that goes running off to the edge, that's not going to be ideal. So, alright, so Golem 5 Vite, Arc 5 Vite, gets off at the start. Everything seems to be okay, like at the start. Like, no one seems to die. That's not the issue here. And generally, I feel it's not going to be the issue in a lot of places. So, that's not what we're looking for here. Alright, so PK. The other thing about PK is he will die pretty much if he gets hit by a demon, right? So, I'm not sure. Is he getting stunned over there by that demon? No, he's in Vic, so he's dealing with that. But if he doesn't have max dodge, like he's missing a lot of that, which is great. But if he gets hit, he's gonna die most likely. I have found that Heartbreaker. Oh no, he's got someone else with him. Oh, Anubis is tanking. That's why. I found that Heartbreaker can actually 1v1 a demon. So because she has that inbuilt heals as well, on the off chance that they run off. Okay, so there's only one dead grave there, so maybe it was just the PK by himself. Alright, so we've lost 1 damage output, which is why I think maybe having a BT, someone who's on melee and has to walk to the nearest deering, is not going to fly over walls and it's not going to like fly off. It's going to go to the nearest target, which is obviously going to be hopefully closer in the circle. So now this one, we've got a minute. Was it a minute 30? We might have a minute 30, and we're gonna make it 1 minute for a demon. Oh yeah, we only need 40 seconds for a demon. So that's no big deal. This is definitely gonna work. So alright, so even though one's dying, we're still got enough tick of damage going over to make this work. Are we calling this farmable? Are we calling this a farmable setup? We've only done 2 runs, so let's just jump into the 3rd one. I'm not sure if I'm the only one. All my buddies, I'm getting like screen overlay messages at the moment through our chat, and the fast forward mechanism in Lava 4 is having some terrible lag issues. So if anyone wants to drop me a comment and just if I'm the only one doing that, great. Or if everyone else is like in the CC community is having trouble with this fast forward thing with Lava. I know they tried to fix it maybe in the last update or a couple updates, just as far as a little bit of bugs going, but I mean, yeah, it could be a couple of things going on here. So we're just gonna try and okay, all right, so let's just go through. I am gonna put it in fast forward just this one time into 4, because I don't want to keep you guys here for ages. But at the moment, like, I'm feeling pretty confident that me and my buddies in this crew are going to be able to run this setup with some satisfaction. So and with some success rate. All right, so we'll just put it on 2. We'll put it on 4, and I'll show you what I mean by this lag. Like, it's pretty horrific. And like, keeping on 1 and 2 is not too bad. Obviously for videos it's really hard to even do and contemplate fast forward 4, but now you've already seen the setup 2 times in slow-mo at least. So what are we, about a minute 30, we're getting to that 2nd demon, or 2 demons down. And then, as my calculations would say, I would say if you're getting to that last demon within 4, and you've got 40 seconds left on the clock, and 40 seconds plus, you're no worries. If you've got less than 40 seconds, like, I mean, it was fast forward, and like it says 7 seconds left on the clock there, but if you're in fast forward, right, it tends to clock that time up just a little bit more. So all right, but I mean, this is the first time I've been obviously looking at all the comments that are floating around on YouTube as well, and I've seen a couple of people's setups and talking with my guild as well about what we think is working. But yeah, pretty much I'm going on the belief that PK needs to be dropped from Lava from Lava 4. So that's my opinion there. I think there's some higher damaging targets out there that are definitely going to be more valuable to your setup and offer some greater utility, especially in that starting point. Like, I mean, my team is fairly maxed. Like, we've got some pretty... What are we going here? I think... I might have to get out of this. Because if I invite Sphinx, for example, my buddy there, and he's not available, like he's still in the lava chat because of slowdown, or he's only going speed 2 or something like that, it won't invite him. He won't see the invite, which is super annoying. I wish you could just re-invite people and it wouldn't be such a big deal. So, and I'm running this other account next to me with Bump. He's a bit slow to come into it all, so no big deal. But, you know, this is 4 of 4 runs. I reckon I'm pretty happy to transfer this to people. And if you are a bit lower, like we did see that first run where the Golem died down the bottom, if you do see that happen, adding an Ice Demon might work, but who are you going to change in place of that? Like, maybe a PK, because honestly, you know, Ice Demon doesn't have a cooldown. I don't think his... But yeah, like, you know, putting the Ice Demon, who are you going to drop? That's the thing. Who are you going to drop to put that Ice Demon in and still have enough ticks and time left? Alright, so... TT. It looks like the starting point, or at least my hero's being in spot 4. Alright, so that GS dies there, and she did have slowdown. So she's definitely dead if she dies again and gets hurt. That's bad. But like all this team up here, right, top team, they need to be squished as far as they can. Oh, no, this is super bad. That TT is going to get wrecked. Alright, so this is a bit of an interesting setup. So, and TT was pretty close from what I saw, but if she... Is the demon attacking her or the pumpkins? That's the thing. So that might be okay. Alright, let's just go to speed 2 here. I think this is his last run. Alright, so the other indication is if you're killing that first demon in under 2 minutes, or before the 2-minute marker comes up on the top, I reckon you're doing pretty good too. Good indication is if you kill the second... Oh, if you kill the second demon before like a minute 30-ish, I think, is when I feel like I'm pretty happy, because that means, you know, you've got at least 30 seconds per demon or 40 seconds per demon, which I reckon is a good... Maybe not the first one, because he seems to be a bit more tanky, but if you've got 40 seconds per demon, you're in the clear. So, which I was going to change my TT to a summons pet, because at the moment she does have 5 energy sap, which is something I don't really want to take off of her, because it's great for LBF, but for Archdemon, the more summons pet you can get, the better. So we might be doing that instead anyway, and we'll see if that makes, how much difference that actually makes. But yeah, that's 4 victories in a row. 5 victories in a row? How many runs do we even have there? So we'll do this last one, make sure that, you know, I'm pretty happy to put this video out there and say it is farmable times, you know, 5 runs or whatever it is, and you know, I'll pin a comment later and see what we've see what our success rate is. But moral of the story here is, you know, ditch your PKs, because he's weak, and 2, yes, he has high DPS, but he doesn't have the highest DPS. If you've only got 3 high damaging DPS heroes, or even 2, for example, obviously GS, not everyone has a gunslinger, and to be honest, if you don't have a gunslinger, you're going to have some issues. You're going to have a bit of trouble getting into this, getting into the rhythm of this. So, you know, from what I've seen, having GS and TT is definitely important. As far as a minimum requirement goes, I still haven't figured that out. Obviously, I'm just trying to adapt to what is going to get my team the best success. And so far, I'm pretty happy with, you know, having Gunslinger and having TT. But if you're on that spot 1, when we've got a third DPS target, which is the PK, I'm actually highly recommending you use Heartbreaker, because her AoE splash damage is actually quite good in the front target, so getting rid of all of those initial heroes. And then she also heals, so if she does wander off, like PK, you saw him a couple of times in these runs, does wander off, she can actually 1v1 the demons. If you've got those Anubises proccing, you know, make sure that they're going to lower the damage of the demons. Maybe if you do see a target wandering, you want to use Havoc, the pet, to lower the damage and the attack speed of the demon. Obviously the energy. Alright, so we lost this one. So I'm not sure what happened there. Obviously the team ran down to the bottom. I didn't even see it because I was in fast forward, wasn't even paying attention. So yeah, I mean, farmable, yes, but you're still going to have those freak splits. It always happened. Sometimes it happened in, you know, Lava 3, not as often though. But yeah, that, my TT and my Arc died on that first one. So, you know, does that mean we're going to use, we need to figure out where we would put an Ice Demon in this whole setup to make it work. All right. I'm going to leave it there, guys. You know, it's still 100% farmable. I would say it's pretty close. I'm happy to have this set up, and I'm still going to run it with my team, definitely, because, you know, I want to get those Waller stacks, Waller Soul Stones. But I'll just run through my heroes. Who did I have? I had Arc, so he was not in between 6 and 8 skill. It's the same. So if you want to take him to 9, that's great. But if he's sitting at 6, he offers the same amount of freeze on heroes. So he is 5 Vite there. And then who else have we got? We've got Val, who was 5 Vite. She was just running a Vive crest. She doesn't actually get attacked, so it might be worthwhile me changing her to Slowdown. And TT was running Slowdown, Chickaboom Pet, and who else did I have? GS, and GS was, you know, all skill 10 mostly, besides that Arc. And she's also running Slowdown. So, just really quickly, the pets, guys, what I think is the best setup for them. You know, Chickaboom, obviously, healing pet, yes, or I needed to change that to someone else, obviously. So who should have been in that? Someone else, not who it was. So that's fine. I'll get, and yeah, Havoc is another one I definitely recommend. So the first 4, pretty much, Chickaboom, Angie, Yellowfin, and Havoc are definitely the best ones. And then you can kind of mix and match. Some people are saying Doom Balloon, you know, for getting rid of those buildings earlier. Some people are saying Stun Bug because, you know, they offer 2 targets will actually get hit. So in that initial stage, it's offering something else. Some people are saying, obviously, the Silence Pet, or potentially Phoenix for that area AoE damage. So that's what that is, guys. That's all the setup. That's my Lava 4 team. Take it as you will. I'll just add some pictures at the end of this so you guys can see the setup and copy that. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and as always, guys, enjoy.